Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivara Dhari Jaya Girivara Dhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Panchatattva Jaya Panchatattva Jaya Prahlad Narasimha Jaya Prahlad Narasimha Prahlad Narasimha Jaya Prahlad Narasimha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 जय श्री श्री रामाधवाष्ट सखी वृंद श्रीमन महाप्रभु की जय श्री श्री पंचतत्व की जय श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंहदेव भगवान की जय श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी श्री सुदर्शन चक्र महाराज की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय हृदय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, so we will continue from our reading, Shrimad Bhagavam introduction, going through the Sikshashtakam verses, and we'll go through the verse 3. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. 4. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. 5th, O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet, somehow or other, I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet. If we discuss these 3 shlokas, then if we really look into it, we find out what place we are in our devotional service. Thinking ourselves, being more humble than a blade of grass on the street. What is the value of the blade of grass on the street? Anybody?
Zero.
Yeah, basically. People step on it, we ride over it, dogs pass water on it. Absolutely useless. And the straw does not react. So more humble than that piece of straw. More tolerant than a tree. Now, how do we define the tolerance in a tree? It's summer, it's winter, it's storm, it snows, it hails. The tree stands there. People come, pluck flowers, tree doesn't complain. They come, pluck fruits, tree doesn't complain. Kids go, climb over it, break branches, it doesn't complain. We cut it down, it doesn't complain. Is that actually possible for us to do? So one should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and ready to offer all respect to others. Sometimes it's easy to offer all respects. Somebody comes, you're coming from a cultured family, and you're ready to give respects. But to expect nothing in return, that's where we have problem. I'm dealing so nicely. Why is this guy dealing so badly with me? In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. So if we are not constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord, that means we are not doing these things. Right? The story of Haridas Thakur. Faultless. The only thing he had done was chant Hare Krishna. Being a Muslim. Being a Muslim, he's chanting Hare Krishna. So his punishment, he gets beaten up in 22 marketplaces. So technically speaking, you have your Bamanpukur Bazaar, then you have Gaurnagar Bazaar, then you have your, he gets beaten up in, let's say, housing area, then he goes down to Holurghat area, he gets beaten over there, and then, you take him down like that in 22 different marketplaces. That's a serious amount of beating. And after that, he didn't die. So if he needs to be protected, okay, boom, dead. He died. So the king diagnosed him, oh, he's dead. Throw him in the water. Because they don't know what to do with him. He's born in a Muslim family, but he's following the Hindu religion. So are you going to burn him? Cremate him? Or are you going to go to bury him? No idea. Throw him in Ganga. He gets thrown in Ganga, goes down some distance, wakes up again, comes on the bank, starts chanting Hare Krishna again. So that's third shloka. Now fourth one. I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. Anybody ready? Anybody falls in this category? O son of Maharaj Nanda, I am your eternal servitor. Yet, somehow or other, I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms of your lotus feet. So that's somehow or other. Shloka 3 and 4. We can't follow it. That's how we fall in the repeated cycle of birth and death. But Krishna, you know that it's difficult for me to follow. Please pick me up from this ocean of birth and death and place me as an atom at your lotus feet. Otherwise, there is no chance of me going back to Godhead. It's not possible. Brihad Bhagavatamrita explains that when a person dies, he's a devotee. So Vishnudutas come to take him back to Godhead. So before taking him back to Godhead, they take him through every place in the universe. And every place in the universe is more opulent than the planet that we live in. Right? You go even to the lower planetary system. Let's say you go to Nagaloka. The Nagas, the snakes over there, they have these beautiful, valuable gems on their head which glow at night. Which glow because there is no sunlight over there. So those jewels, they glow so they can see. And Patala, where Bali Maharaj resides, it's more opulent than Swarga, the planet of King Indra. Because he was a devotee, Vaman Dev, he said, don't worry, your place will be more opulent than Swarga. And then when you leave this body, you will become next Indra. And then once you become next Indra, then you go back to Godhead. So he, place over there is doing good. You read in different Shastra, Bhagavatam talks about different places, throughout the universe. Is so much more opulent than our place. Yeah. And in any place, if we say, wow, that looks interesting, can I see this place? Yamaduta is like, yeah, just stay there, we'll come and pick you up next time. And you get stuck. Let's say you don't get stuck in the universe. Then they start taking you through the layers of the universes. The layers are made out of the 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Then it's made out of mind, intelligence, and false ego. So you're going through different layers, and each layer is more opulent than the previous one. And finally, you come to the layer of false ego. And over there, Mohini Murti comes to say goodbye to you. If you get stuck, you got stuck. If that place you don't get stuck, then you enter the spiritual world. So is it possible for us? That's why there is a need of the spiritual master who is qualified, who knows what is the spiritual world. That's why we say, oh, that place looks good, and Guru Maharaj is like, hey, let's go. There's a better place than here. And we follow the footsteps, the instructions of Guru Maharaj. That's why we believe in him, and then we can go back to Godhead. But we have to always keep on trying. Shloka 3 and 4, it's meant for us. It's called Sikshashtakam. It's the 8 verses of instructions. That means we have to be on this level, of Shloka 3 and 4. Shloka 6. Oh my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs on my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? 7. O Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are falling from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. Additionally, this we have, many of us must have felt this. O Govinda, feeling your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Many people have felt that. Right? Let's say you want to go to some place which you've been planning to go for years and years and years. You're wanting to go there, and finally you get an opportunity to go. Right? What happens? It's just 2-hour ride, but that 2 hour feels how long? It just feels like forever. Yeah. And then once you are there, and when you're coming back, then you're talking about that place, and that feels like, hey, we just sat in the car. What happened? Right? So we have felt this. In your separation, I'm considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. And tears are falling from my eyes like torrents of rain. and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. This thing happens with every, how to say, every youngster. When the person falls in love, oh, everything is vacant without you. There is no purpose in life. Better I die than to live in separation from you. And then the person gets married. 3 months later, why did I get married? Everybody gets into this situation, right? But this feeling has to come for Krishna. In your absence, oh my Lord, in your absence, I'm feeling difficulties. I can't feel good without you. I have no one but Krishna as my master. And he shall remain so. Doesn't matter what he does. Like you have a child. Doesn't matter, we see children have so much faith in their parents or in their direct authorities. So much faith they have. Many times I have seen, the authorities kind of not treating the children properly. They abuse the children, but still the child has that faith. No, this is the person, from whom I can get something nice. So we are just like children. It doesn't matter what Krishna does to us. It may be good, it may not be good. But we know that whatever he does is the best for us. We may not understand what are we going through. It may just be completely, why is Krishna doing this to me? Why everything bad in this world is happening to me? There was one story in Jagannath Puri. A family came. They're taking darshan. There's a donation box over there, and there is so much rush. They pick up their kid and put it on the donation box. So just he doesn't get disturbed by the crowd. The Panda says, "Okay, good, very nice," and they pick up the kid. It's like, "What are you doing? That's my child." Like, no. He's put on the donation box. Now he belongs to Jagannath. Now, he's Jagannath's, we will take care of him. Like, no, he's my kid. Like, no. And I'm not sure how many of you know, when pandas get in that mood, there's not much you can do about it. They took the kid. The parents could not take the child back. The panda says, you have given this child as a donation. Finished. They took him. And finally, after so much, arguing, parents gave up. Says, okay, let him be with Jagannath. And they started going back. They were from Bhubaneswar or Cuttack or someplace. As soon as they left Jagannath Puri, they had a car accident. Both the parents died. So, at the time, it's like so harsh. How can pandas do that? How can Krishna allow this to happen? This from the parents, the child has been taken away. It's so it can easily become like a news headline. And then the parents are dead. And this is not that old. It's like 30 or 40 years ago. It happened. Parents died. The kid became part of Jagannath's family. He was protected. There's another story of a great saint from Maharashtra, a girl. Her name was Janabai. I think I mentioned this story here. Did I say the story of Janabai here? Lord Vithala would come to grind. No? You see there are two dolls over there on the altar. Right? That's the form of Krishna and Rukmini Devi. The form of Krishna over there is called Vithala. It was interesting because Krishna would go every night out. And Rukmini Devi, she's thinking, he got 16,108 most beautiful girls in the universe. Where is he going out at night? Why is he going? Where is he going? So she followed him one day. It was summer season, hot season. So, After some distance, Krishna says, "Who's there?" He turns back. "Who's there following me?" Oh, Rukmini Devi comes out. "I'm really sorry. Please. I'm just interested. Where are you going at night?" He said, "Oh, I'm going to meet my very dear devotee." He says, "Who's that?" He says, "You come, you'll see. Just wait here. Let me go there first." So Krishna goes there, and there was this devotee called Pundalik. Now, Pundalik, he's having, it's night time, so the father is sleeping on one lap and the mother is sleeping on the other lap. Very, very poor family. Both the parents are sleeping, and this boy is sitting up and taking care of his parents. And Krishna was so pleased by this person, the way how he's taking care of his parents, that he came to see him. And he said, "Hey, Pundalik," says from the behind. And he says, "Yes, how can, who is this?" He says, "Oh, that's me, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I have come to give you darshan." And he says, "Oh, well, my parents are sleeping right now. I can't receive you. I'm sorry. Here, but I'm supposed to give you an asana, right? Here." So he picks up a brick and throws back. He says, "Stand on that." And so Krishna, he stands on the brick, and he's standing for a long time. So he puts his hand like that, and he's like waiting and waiting and waiting. And after some time says, "Hey, Pundalik." He says, "Yes." He says, "Rukmini is also here." No problem, here. Let her stand on that brick. So she's also standing like that, so they are waiting, waiting. Next day morning, there were forms of Vitthala, Rukmini. Vitthala means the brick is called wheat in Marathi. And the person who's standing on wheat is called Vitthala. So Krishna's actual name is the guy standing on a brick. So there were these family who came to visit. They would come every year, or during the first day of Chaturmasya. They would come to pay their obeisances to the deity, because then the deity goes to sleep for 4 months. So they come to, before he goes to sleep, they come to pay his obeisances. And they had this small little girl, 3 years old, says, "We are going to walk about 800 kilometers. How can we take care of this girl? We are not going to take this girl." The girl finds out that they are not going to take him, and they are going to be out for about 2 months. She starts crying, "No, no, no, I want to come with you, and don't go without me," and going on. Finally, the parents agreed. They took the girl. They came all the way to the outskirts of Pandharpur, where Lord Vitthala is residing. And then the next day they are going to go and take darshan. But that time there was this plague going around. This disease was going around, and people were just dying. So this family was there, of course, with thousands of people. They're just in the outskirts of Pandharpur. Next day they're going to take darshan. And they got this disease at night. And both the parents died. Now the girl wakes up in the morning trying to, wake the parents up. "Hey, let's go, let's go, let's go." No response. So she starts crying. She's just 3 years old. That time there was a great saint called Dhyaneshwar. He sees, this poor little girl crying. So he's a sannyasi, takes this girl, brings it to the ashram, and teaches her how to worship Krishna. And she becomes such a great devotee, that she's always constantly thinking of how to serve Krishna. And she's constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord. And Vitthala, he would come at night, to meet her. And then one night, he came, somebody had gifted this nice pashmina shawl and a nice, beautiful necklace. They had given as a gift to Pandarinath, Vitthalnath. So he comes wearing this thing, and then he starts working. Working means he's there sweeping the house while she wipes the house. When they stand, they used to use this stone for grinding grains. It's circle. So you have to go in circles. You put the grains inside. You keep on going in circles. So the Lord would help her with making the atta with grains. He would go fill the water. He would go, clean the cows. Just household work. He would help her. And then, so he had taken his necklace and this chadar and hanged it on the wall, on the hook. And then suddenly it's time for Mangala Arati. And he's like, oh my God, the pujari is coming. He grabs the chadar, puts on him, runs, stands on the altar. The pujari opens the door and he sees, what's that? That's not the chadar we offered to him. That was a nice, very opulent pashmina chadar. And now he's wearing some rags. What happened? You know, and what happened to that very costly necklace? Oh, there must have been some thief. Immediately, the pujari who was putting deities to sleep was called. Hey, where is the stuff? He says, I don't know. I locked the place. I don't know. Okay, and some of the pujari said, hey, I know that chadar. That chadar belongs to Janabai. And what is that doing here? Okay, the whole crowd goes to Janabai's house. And she's over there, they're like, oh, Brahman's coming, how are you? All glories to you, my house is blessed. And they say, shut up, where is the cloth? What cloth? Oh, the deity's shawl. Like, what shawl? I don't know, what are you talking about? I don't know. He says, this is your shawl? Yes, I was searching for it. Where did you? Oh, you're a thief. So I'm not a thief. And then this discussion is happening, and one pujari goes inside the house. Hey, what's this? Here is the shawl and the necklace. And you are saying you're not a thief? It came out from your house. He says, look, the Lord comes every night to help me. You're like, yeah. Nice story. Nice one. The Lord comes to your house every night, to help you work. You're a good one. Yeah. We have heard that before. So they bind her. And the matter is taken to the king. The king says, hang her. Hang her in public. So nobody again would dare to steal the deity's possessions. So she's being taken down the street, and people are chucking rocks at her. They are spitting at her. They are saying all kinds of nasty words to her. And she's listening, all these things. The person who's supposed to hang her, he says, this is your moment. Think of who you want to think about, whom you have been worshipping. Only He can protect you. Only He can save you. Why don't you think of Him? If He's actually coming to your night every day, because He's so pleased with your devotion, why don't you call Him? Janabai, closes her eyes, puts her hands in pranam mudra, and she thinks about Lord Vitthala. And immediately the Lord appears in his four hand forms. And he embraces Janaba in front of everyone. He sees, everybody's like, oh, Krishna is right there. Embracing this lady. Who is this lady? And, and then Krishna says, no, I just wanted everybody to know her glories. That's why I created this pastime. She went through a lot of hassle, people criticizing her, spitting on her, throwing rocks at her. But at the end, it was Krishna embracing her in front of everyone. And she was glorified by, so many people after that. This glory, her glories went all the way from Maharashtra all the way up to Kashi. And there was this person, his name was Kabir. He is considered as one of the saintly people in India. Mayavadi, but saintly. He's a saintly Mayavadi. So he hears, and he was very, very renowned saintly person. So he says, I must come and see this girl, who she is. So he walks all the, it's like 300 years ago, 400 years ago. So he walks all the way from Kashi, about like 1,300 kilometers to come and see this lady. And he comes to the village, and the whole village is empty. And he finally comes to this place, and there is a whole riot happening. There's these two women just fighting. yelling and like swearing at each other. And he's like, okay, happens, this is a village, He says, where is Janabai? I want to meet Janabai. He says, you see that lady, yelling and screaming and pulling on other ladies' hair? That's Janabai. What? Giving up all my, work, walking 12, 13, 100 kilometers, I came to look at this common lady. I thought, she must be so saintly, chanting Hare Krishna, 64 rounds every day. This girl, she's, pulling on the hair of the neighbor and swearing dirty words. This girl I came to see. And he said, excuse me, lady, are you Janabai? And she said, yes. He says, I heard so much about you. I heard about your devotional service. And I come and I'm so disappointed to look at this situation. I mean, like, you are behaving like a common woman, like an ordinary lady, fighting with your neighbor. And she says, of course I will fight. She stole my cow dung patties. It's like, what? Stole your cow dung patties? It's like, hello? and he's like, okay. How can you prove that she stole your cow dung patties? And Janabai says, that pile is mine. You pick up any cow dung, put it to your ear, and it will sound Jai Vithala, Jai Vithala. If that cow dung patty doesn't sound Jai Vithala, that's not mine. If that cow dung patty sounds Jai Vithala, it's mine. Goes there, picks up the cow dung patty, touches to his ear. The sound comes Jai Vithala, Jai Vithala, Jai Vithala. He says, now this is the lady I came to see, Dandavat Pranam. If you are a Krishna Bhakta, be sure that you will go through a lot of hassle in your life. You will go through, complete down, to, your life will be in complete mess. You take, the history is the evidence. There is not one devotee of Krishna who has not suffered a lot. Take example of the Pandavas, right? They were born in the family of emperors. Where? In the forest. Right? After some time, when they were small children, they lost their father. So they came back to the palace, in which they have 100 cousins who want to kill them. And they're just waiting again and again, and then they get a little elder and they were tried to be burnt alive. And then they got little happiness because they went and married Draupadi. Right? So they got a very strong allies as Drupal. But all 5 of them, they got married to one Draupadi. Right? When they come back from their marriage, they said, okay, you will not get your father's kingdom, you have to share. So you take the half of the kingdom. Which half? The barren land half, where nothing grows, where there is completely useless. You get that place. So okay, no problem. They got that place. And then they made it into a heavenly planet. And the brother comes, okay, let's have a dice game. Everything taken. They all became, menial servants. Their wife was insulted. Okay, you want everything back? Let's play again. Okay, why not? Play again. And then, okay, now you go out for 12 years of exile. And in the 13th year of being incognito. And if you're found out, that we find out that it's you go again for 12 years. Okay, fine, no problem. After completing 13 years of exile, kill the whole family. They had to kill the entire family. All friends, all relatives, everyone. And that's why, Arjuna says, what am I going to do? If I kill them and I get the kingdom of the universe, with whom will I share and enjoy? Whom will I say, hey brother, come, let's go, look at this. It's such a, nice chariot we got, or whatever. It's like, with whom will I share? What's the point of fighting these people? Krishna says, no, do it for me. thinking of me. And like this, you will come to me. So they kill the whole family. Then they are alive for, I think, 36 years. And then Krishna leaves the planet. Mars Yudhishthira says, okay, time for me to go. And then they leave the planet. What kind of life was that? Being from, taking birth as the emperors, becoming complete beggars, to emperors again, to beggars again, to emperors again. But at all time, they had Krishna with them. Once the Pandavas, they all got together and they said, you see, they're telling Krishna. And Maharaj Yudhishthira says, we love you so much, Krishna. We are always serving you. We are always, trying to be with you. But Bhima, he's not so devotional. He's not. He always wants to eat. He can't, perform any austerity. Why don't you tell him something? Look at all four of us. We are always performing Ekadashi Vratas. We are always performing things. We are always devoted to you. Bhima is into total sense gratification. Tell him something. Krishna says, let's go. So they go, to a place. And there is a small mountain of gold. And there is a huge mountain of gold. And all the Pandavas are like, what is this? He says, you see the small mountain of gold? That's the amount of devotional service done by all four of you. And you see this big mountain of gold? That's the devotional service done by Bhima alone. It's like, what? How is that possible? We never see him doing devotional service. He never chants japa. He never performs Ekadashi. Once a year, he's performing Ekadashi. Once a year. He's like, but how can he do that? He says, because you are always thinking of that you should never forget me. I will offer this to Krishna, I will offer this to Krishna. You take a flower, you offer it to me. When Bhima walks by, he sees a pond full of flowers. He says, all is yours. He says, I've offered all this to Krishna. Whatever he eats, he says, whatever I eat, that's all offered to Krishna. And everybody knows how much Bhima can eat. He said, so he is doing good, don't worry. So that's the level of devotional service. Draupadi complained to Krishna. He says, why did you come late? I was getting disrobed. Why did you come late? He says, well, I was there. I was just coming, and then you told me, Shanka Chakra Gadapani Dwarika Govinda Pundarikaksha Rakshamam Sharanagatam. He says, oh Lord, holding conch, chakra and your club and lotus, you're situated in Dwaraka. Please, Govinda Pundarikaksha, please come protect me. He says, I was there. I had to go to Dwaraka, then come back. Because you put me all the way in Dwaraka. Yeah. So that's why it came it took me some time. Next time, don't make this mistake. It's okay. And Durvasa Muni comes. After Draupadi Devi has eaten everything. Durvasa Muni comes. Oh, I'm here with 10,000 disciples. Feed us. So like, oops, problem. Draupadi Devi says, Hridayagamalavacha Janardana. Oh Janardana, residing in my heart, please come and save me. Krishna comes from behind. Hey, you called me? When did you come? He says, you called me? You said, right in the heart, if I come out like this, you will get scared. That's why I'm calling you from behind. Like, yes, how can I help you? He says, help? There is 10,000 hungry Brahmins waiting over there with Durvasa at their head. And the pots are all washed. Nothing will come out anymore. I have eaten. He says, don't worry, there must be something left. He says, no, it's washed. And Krishna says, I know how well you can wash pots. He goes, picks up the pot in the corner, in the rim, over there. He finds a small, piece. Small, very tiny. He picks it up, he says, Shri Krishna Arpanamastu, eats it. All the Brahmins over there, all burping. They're all taking bath and they start burping. And he says, Guru Maharaj. He says, yes. He says, I can't eat anything anymore. Other disciples says, yes, Gurudev, I can't eat anything. He says, forget you guys, I can't eat anything either. But it will be sinful because we told them that we'll go to his house for prasad. And if we don't go, it's going to be sinful. So what to do? He says, before they come to invite us, we should run away. Krishna told, you go tell them to come. Bhima goes, hey, Brahmins, prasadam is ready. Let's go. He goes to call. He says, there is nobody there. So what happened? Maharaj Yudhishthira becomes very sad. So I couldn't serve the Brahmins. And the Brahmins came to my house and I couldn't serve them. Krishna says, don't worry. I took care of them all. You wouldn't be able to serve them anyway. But at every step, Krishna was there. And that's what Kunti Maharani is complaining when Krishna is going back. She says, don't go. Now we have everything. And that's why you are leaving us. Bring back all those difficulties. Bring back all those problems. Because when we were in those problems, we were in those difficulties, you were there with us at every step. You never let us alone. And now we are the emperor of the world, and you are saying goodbye. I have to go take care of my kingdom. I have to take care of Dwaraka. So that should be our attitude. That should be our mood. It doesn't matter what Krishna does to us. It doesn't matter what situation we are under. We are always remembering and worshipping the Lord. Because He knows what's the best for us. We don't. The child is hungry. Or, not hungry. He just wants something. He sees something. Oh, I want that. Oh, mama, please, give this to me. The parents, they say, forget it. You're not getting. Why? Because the parents know what is good for the child, what is not good for the child. Similarly, Krishna knows what's good for us, what's not good for us. You surrender to Krishna. Krishna said, if somebody takes one step towards me, I take hundreds towards him. We have to learn to surrender. And surrender is unconditional, always. You can't surrender unto someone with conditions. Oh, I only surrender to you if you cancel out Mangala Arati. I don't have to get up for Mangala Arati. Then I will surrender to you. No. Surrender is always unconditional. These are the rules you follow. And why do we follow those rules? Because Krishna likes it. Krishna likes to take baths with cold water, we take baths with cold water. Krishna likes to wear dhoti, we wear dhoti. One of the 64 qualities of Krishna is that he loves to perform activities based on Shastra. Of course, Shastra writes what he likes. I write down, one should do this, one should do this, one should do this. Like, look, I'm doing all of these things. No, but if we want to, like Prabhupada said, he gave an example. You go to meet someone, you like the person. He says, you like me, you like my dog. Right? Even if you don't like the dog, you have to say, oh, such a cute little doggy. What's his name? Oh, Tommy. Oh, Tommy, such a nice name. And even if you hate dogs, you got to do that because why? You have something to get from this person. You can't say, a disgusting dog, you stink. You can't say that. Similarly, if you want to reach Krishna, we can't say, oh, I can't get up for Mangala Arati. Oh, I can't chant my 16 rounds. Oh, Krishna says, oh, forget it. I can't help you out. And once we start doing that, all these other qualities will come. Surrender is the only quality required from a devotee. Once you are surrendered, every other quality will manifest itself. One must have faith in Krishna. That's why Rupa Goswami says, Adau Shraddha. The first thing you need is faith. Then, based on faith, then you associate with Vaishnavas. Then, because you're associating with Vaishnavas, then what Vaishnavas are doing? They are performing devotional service. So that's Bhajana Kriya. And then because you're, performing Bhajana Kriya, then you get into Anartha Nivritti. And because then you are clean of all the dirt, then you get attached to that nice, clean place. That's why you have our Sakti, right? And then it just develops into ruchi. You are interested to be there, not just attracted. You want to be part of that place. So that's ruchi. And then you just fall in love. So love is just the most, how to say, developed form of faith. It's nothing other than just faith. So that's why that's the only quality a person requires, a Vaishnava requires, is faith, surrender. And once we surrender, let Krishna take care. Every situation. And many times you fall under such situation, you're like, my God, what am I going to do? How is it going to work out? There's so many stories of devotees who are doing book distribution. Right? There was one story of a book distributor, or the whole temple, and they have to pay the rent for the temple, and they don't have any money. So they are all out doing book distribution and really working hard. By evening, they still don't have money. So they are just working hard. And then suddenly one man appears, hands over an envelope. I think they needed like $100 more. The guy hands over an envelope, and the dude says, "Hey, book." He says, "Keep it with you." Walks off, disappears. The person, the devotee comes back, opens the envelope. Is that $100, which was missing from their payment to their bill? How did that, where did that $100 come from? It's just Krishna. We remember once we went on parikrama to Tirupati, South India. And then it was a really funny situation. We got some laddus, like 4 or 5, and I had like 25 kids. So we gave out, divided this 4 or 5 laddus, whatever we had, among all the boys. And one boy says, Mashai, I need, I still want more laddu. And I said, if you want laddu, you have to say, Balaji, give me a laddu. You have to shout out like that. He says, no, I'm not going to do it. He says, then you will not get. It's okay. So he was a small boy. So we convinced him. So he went, Balaji, give me a laddu. Like really loud. There was a person walking by and he says, oh, here. He gave him a laddu. He's like, wow. Another boy said, I also want. He says, you should also shout, Balaji. We had all those kids, shouting out one after the other, Balaji, give me a laddu. And somebody was there, to just hand them a laddu. And we got like 25 laddus. From each one was like that big. It took us like 4 days to finish it. But how did that happen? Yeah. We were just and there was one kid who just wouldn't say it. He just wouldn't say it. We told him again and again and again. He says, no, I'm not going to say. He was the only one who didn't get a laddu. Everybody else got. So it's like a funny situation, It's like Balaji, give me a laddu, just kids shouting out in the middle of the street, and some kid, some person walks by, hey, here, I have. So Krishna will take care of you at every situation. You just have to learn to surrender. You don't have to worry about anything. So yeah, with this we complete our introduction, which we have been going through past 6 months maybe. And so next class we will start with the first shloka of Shrimad Bhagavatam. Anybody has any questions or comments? No? Anybody wants to share their experience of Krishna taking care of them? No? Prabhu, yeah?
Thank you, class. Just sorry, I'm very like this story because we connect with Harinama. Could you little continue this story? Which place with Harinama was punished. Where is place and just little maybe elevated this story to connect it with the purpose for the name.
Yeah,
How to accept shelter?
accept shelter of the holy name. As far as the story goes,
First of all, this place.
I don't know. I think it was a Shantipur, Haridas Thakur. Anybody remembers? That this story happened in Bangladesh? Someplace in Bangladesh. He was born in Bangladesh, no? Haridas Thakur was born in Bangladesh, Muslim family. But the king was Nawab Hussain Shah. That time was Bengal anyway. Yeah, I'm not. I can't remember. I think it was either Prabhu says it's Bangladesh. Huh? Yeah, the place.
Not near Shanti.
No. But he was living in Shantipur also for a long time. I think probably after that he moved to Shantipur. He was staying close to Advaita Acharya. He was living there. Taking shelter of the holy name, the only way to like develop taste in chanting the holy name is by chanting. There is no other way. You chant, and then you don't like it, but you still chant, and you still chant, and you keep on chanting, and that's how you develop taste in chanting the holy name. Taking shelter of the holy name, you just have to dedicate yourself. Yeah, doesn't matter what. Yeah, I'm going to take shelter. Well, there is one story of the. It was recently. This happened when I was a kid. There was a devotee in Mumbai. He was a doctor. So him and his wife, they were newly married, and they decided, "Oh, let's go out. It's been so stressful throughout the whole week. Both of them were doctors. So stressful throughout the week. Let's go out." So they decided to drive out of Mumbai, and past 8 o'clock at night. Mumbai is a city that never sleeps. You can get stuck in a traffic jam at 2 o'clock at night. Also, it's possible. So they just went out of Mumbai on a drive. And at one point, they went into a place where it was complete darkness, and their um, I think that car broke down or something, so they had no lights. So they were trying to fix something, and suddenly at a distance they saw kind of a form having red eyes, and the eyes were glowing, like as if they were like bulbs. So they're like, "What's that?" And they see the form coming closer and closer and closer, and they got really scared. So they all went, both of them went inside the car, and they shut the doors and the windows and everything, and they're inside, and they started chanting Namaste Narsimhaya Praladadayine. They saw it was like it was a ghostly form. It just came very very close to them, and like looking through the mirror and like looking through the glass and like still coming closer and closer. And the prabhu, he saw that. He says, "Jai Narsimhadev!" Shouted like that. And he heard this sound. Zoom! He opens his eyes. The form is not there. It's not there. So I was like, "Oh, thank you, Narsimhadev." And he had a kavacha, Narsimha kavacha in his neck. So he went to grab the kavacha. Thank you, Narsimhadev, like that. And he holds, and the kavacha is not there. And the kavacha is missing. What happened? And suddenly, they start, they turn on the light inside the car, they start searching. The form is nowhere to be seen, the kavacha is nowhere to be seen. They're really working hard, and finally they found the kavacha underneath the car. There's no explanation to this. That's just fate. You can't explain how the kavacha went under the car from a car which is, has closed doors and windows. But that they were protected by Narasimhadev because they took shelter of the holy name. And they're chanting, the holy name of the Lord repeatedly. So these kind of pastimes kind of bring more and more faith that we can develop in the holy name. And also by sadhu sangha, because bhajana kriya only works if there is association of devotees. So when we associate with Vaishnavas, we get more and more taste for chanting the holy name. And here we have so many devotees who are, that's what they do whole day, do kirtan. They go to different devotees' houses, they're performing kirtan. Nice kirtan, Mataji was singing. Just association of the Vaishnavas. Is that okay, Prabhu? Yes, Prabhu.
Who's happiest of in his previous birth? Is it Brahma or Prahlad Maharaj?
No, it was Lord Brahma. Yeah.
Prahlad Maharaj is Vasudeva.
Yeah. He had to take birth in the Mohammedan family because of him how to say, Brahma Vimochan, the Brahma Mohan Leela. He dared to steal the cows and the cowherd boys. So that's why it's like, go become a Muslim. Lord Brahma became a Muslim.
And we get both blessing and a boon.
Yes.
Blessing and a curse.
That's what happens when you are dealing with Krishna. Even if you are, or with Vaishnavas, even if you do some nonsense, they still, and you get cursed, but that curse always ends up to be blessing. Like Nalakuvir and Manigriv. If they would not have insulted Narada Muni, how would they gotten that darshan of Krishna? And even if they would have seen Krishna, would they become devotees? They won't. So that's why the association of Vaishnavas is so important. There was one person, he was a driver in Mumbai, and he was such a stubborn person. But one thing he did was he was always with devotees. He was a car driver in Juhu temple, but because of his dull-headedness, they threw him out. The Mira Road temple came up. The small temple came up. He became a truck. He became a car driver over. Again got thrown out from there. But one thing he did, he always remained a driver for devotees. That's what always happened. And then one day he went into Juhu temple for darshan. He was quite old, not that old. Must have been in his 70s. And then and he was from North India, like UP kind of place. So they have a lot of faith in Lord Ramachandra. So he came in front of Lord Ram, and he put his hands out and Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Ram. He starts, dancing. For like 2-3 minutes he was dancing. And then he became tired. He left his body. What a glorious death. And was he chanting, japa? No. The only thing he did was he remained in the association of devotees whole life, for like 25, 30 years he was serving. And he was driver for devotees. That's only what he did. Sometimes he would chant, sometimes not chant. He's a driver, so sometimes he would eat onion garlic, but he maintained his serving the devotees. And that took him back to God.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram. Any other comment or questions? Yeah, okay. So we will end here. जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी श्री सुदर्शन चक्र महाराज की जय, विठ्ठल रखुमाई की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, हिताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल.
Can we closing after the